I'm JMC64. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video, we're talking about stone breathing from Demon Slayer. Now, we've already covered one of the core five breathing styles, which was water breathing, and we covered all the branch offs from that. Now we're moving on to the second of the five core breathing styles, which is stone breathing and all of its branch offs. Oh wait, there are no branch offs. Yes, stone breathing is the only one of the main five that doesn't have a branch off, and we're not counting Moon as one of the main five. So before someone mentions Moon doesn't have any, we're not counting that as part of the main five. Now, one other interesting thing about stone breathing is that stone breathing actually doesn't have any visual effects accompanying it. Now, what I mean by that is, for serpent breathing, we see the serpents, even though yes, these are only visual effects for the user, for the reader, or for us, for the watcher, depending on how you're viewing the Demon Slayer series. It's only for us to enjoy. But for stone breathing, there is no visual effects for us to enjoy. They don't exist, which I actually think is quite interesting, and it's the only breathing style that this exists for. Now, the whole idea behind stone breathing is that it emulates stones and rocks, and how it works is mostly off of the strength of the user and then creating power from the ground up. And we do see great examples of this in its forms, one of them being the second form, which we'll get into later. Now, first off, we're going to talk about, we see one user of the breathing style, which is the current Stone Hashira, Gyomei Himejime. I'm going to butcher that if I say it again, so I'm just going to stick to Gyomei. But we see Gyomei use it using a special weapon, which is a flail and an axe on a chain. Now, this weapon is made out of nitrine. I figured I should cover anything that is not a sword is still made out of nitrine, otherwise it wouldn't be that effective against demons, as you may know, because there's nitrine weapons and sunlight. Wisteria poison are the three ways to kill a demon. I think they're the only three ways to kill a demon, unless Muzan does it, I suppose. Never mind. He uses a specialized weapon. Now, we do see the very first user of stone breathing. We see him in the manga, and we see him use a specialized weapon, which is right here. I'll get a picture. I don't know how to say the name of this, but as you can see, this weapon is kind of similar to Gyomei's, which would suggest, considering we only see these two weapons ever used with stone breathing, that you need either one of these two weapons or something very, very similar in order to use the breathing style. So, let's talk about there are five breathing styles, or five forms of the breathing style. Now, one more thing I'm going to talk about Gyomei's weapon before we actually talk about the breathing styles is, his weapon has such a purity of light that even Kokushiba, the Upper Moon 1, was surprised at how pure, or how much sunlight this had actually absorbed, and he had never seen a weapon of this much purity in nitrine metal before, and I think that's actually really cool. Now, I don't know if it's 100% or not, because they don't exactly cover how pure it is, but they hadn't seen a weapon absorb, or nitrine metal absorb this much sunlight before, and in Kokushiba's time, in all of his time, he's never seen a weapon with this much sunlight absorbed into it before, and he actually was caught off guard, and he noted this. So obviously that speaks for itself, and it's a pretty good nitrine weapon. Not just the fact that it looks badass, but the fact that it is, on top of it being a nitrine weapon, it gets an extra boost by how concentrated and how much sunlight it has absorbed over time, which I think is really cool. Now, the first form, which is Serpent Tenant Bipolar, this is where basically Gyomei, he throws the axe and the flail while he holds the chain, just so he can direct whichever way he swings his weapon, or he can just control the direction of the axe and the flail. Now, the second form is Upper Smash, which is where he throws the flail into the air and he stands on the chain. Now, when he actually does this, he breaks the ground. We see him do this in the manga, which is crazy. So he breaks the ground, and the whole idea of him standing on the chain is that he forces the flail downwards, smashing whatever opponent is in front of him. or at least under the flail. So it's like, oh, you missed. No, I didn't. Boom. Why did I do this? That's basically how it works. The next one, which is form 3, which is stone skin, which this is where he uses the axe on the chain just mainly for defense or for attacking multiple enemies at a time. Now, fourth form, which is volcanic rock recap conquest. Yeah, I believe I'm saying that right. This is where he grabs the chain at both ends of the weapons. He grabs the chain at both ends of the weapons and he whips them around. This is quite of a wide ranged attack, and it's made for a pincer attack as well from both the axe and the flail. Now, the fifth form and the last form of stone breathing is Arc of Justice, which really cool name. Some of these are, like you'll notice, some of these names are quite simple. Some of them are really, really cool. I actually really like this one, Arcs of Justice, which is a multiple, it's quite a flowing movement where it's multiple attacks on an enemy, or multiple smashing attacks is how they put it, on an enemy, flowing together with the axe hitting first and then the flail afterwards, flowing together quite well. So that's all there is to know about stone breathing. Let me know which one of the core 5 breathing styles I will focus on next. Once again, we have the water branch completely finished, and now we have the stone branch completely finished. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you want to see next.